Okay, wanted to do a walk around video of this 1968 GTO clone. Started its life out as a Tempest Custom S. Originally had a 6-cylinder with a 2-speed automatic transmission. It still has the 2-speed auto, but now it has a 350 out of Le Mans, I believe. It says 400 on the air cleaner, but my understanding is that it's a 350. I haven't ran the numbers to check that, but it's slightly cammed. Sounds pretty good. Still has the automatic transmission in it. It actually, they put another column. I believe this was out of the Le Mans too, because you can tell by the steering wheel. And the, well, we'll get back to that. Let me actually just fire this up. So you can see it fires up and runs real smooth. Alternator pulley might be making a little noise there. I did just kind of wash this down and rinse it down, so I don't know if maybe I got a little water on the belts and it's a little noise there, but it's got some aftermarket Boss wheels, 18-inch. And let's see, we'll just kind of do a walk around here. You can see the paint is actually not the greatest at all. It needs a paint job pretty bad. Looks like some of that was done with a spray can. But the body panels are pretty solid. I'll point out kind of a few spots. I found a little bit of bubbling at the bottom of this fender. And maybe just a little on this front of this door. Go down here. Quarter looks pretty good, except for all the scratches you can see in it. Looks like there's just a little bit of bubbling here. I believe it's still got the original rear end in it as well. You can see looking down, the quarters look good. Outside of that little bubble there, rust at the base of it there. Overall, the car's good and straight. Bumper's been painted, got GTO taillight housings and taillights. Still see the remnants of the original Pontiac emblem that actually didn't exist on a GTO. My intention was to fill those holes in and then paint it. Obviously paint the bumper with it. Had another 68 with the bumper painted and it looks really good. So if we get around to this side, kind of see the same thing. It's obviously needs painted, but it's good and straight. Hopefully you can see that. I took a magnet on this when I first bought it over a year and a half ago, and I had very little spots. These spots that I pointed out are really the only place I noticed that that wasn't completely metal. You can see on this lip there's just a little bit of bubbling starting. But other than that, the doors and everything, we'll look at the underside of the doors in a second. Looks like fenders on this side, pretty good shape. Kind of cracking in the paint. I don't know if there was Bondo there, but it's pretty straight, at least. So, yeah, the car's still, the finish is terrible, but it could use a paint. But the front bumper is the original front bumper. meaning that it was chrome. On 1968 models, these are the same. I've had 568s. This is the fifth one. The other four were actual GTOs, and the bumper is the same exact dimensions as an Endura bumper in 68. 69s are different. The 68s are the same, and so you could literally paint these and it would look the same as an Endura bumper, with the exception of the grill mounts. To get the grills to mount, I think you'd have to weld in some hardware. I was just going to use the stock grills. You can see they're blacked out now. Eventually I was going to replace that Pontiac emblem with a GTO emblem. I just hadn't gotten the grills out to be able to do that. Valance is a pretty decent shape. It looks like it's hanging a little low on that side, but outside of that, I mean, it doesn't look all beat up. It's got an interesting horn on it. It's got a Dixie horn, like from the General Lee. The previous owner put that in. We could try to see if that works. Here you can get a shot of the motor. It's got a little cam in it. Car's not what I would call crazy fast. I've been in fairly fast cars, but it's a good driver, and that's really what I bought it for. The only reason that I'm looking to sell it is I need to put money into this one. 35 Plymouth. I inherited it from my uncle, so I can't get rid of it. So ultimately, I'm gonna take whatever money I can get out of this and put it in that. Although I'd really like to keep this. I've had 8 GTOs altogether. I count this one as a GTO just because of the emblems. I've got the GTO emblems, by the way, brand new, that I will include with the sale. Excuse me. Let's take a look at the inside. The inside definitely needs some work, but I stripped the carpet out of it because I wanted to be able to get a good look at the floor pans. I don't know if it's going to show up real well in here, but the floor pans, there's a little bit of surface rust there, a little bit over here, but it's solid. It's not all ate through. There's no holes back here. It just needs ground out. And then up there, same thing. This is the passenger side. Now on the driver's side, there are some holes that have started right here. If you can see this. So you can see there was a little bit right there, and that's really it as far as holes go, just right there. Personally, since I was going to drive out, there's a little bit back here. So there. I had this seat out, so I know there's nothing under it. I've got all new seat bolts to bolt the buckets in. I don't have another carpet for it yet, but somebody could really ground out the rust in the floor pan. Maybe deal with those little holes here, and maybe do a little POR 15 and put in some new carpet, and the seats be good to go. It's got the original gauges. That one's missing. I don't have that one. It's got a decent stereo in it. I don't have the speakers back in it yet, but I do have speakers.